Hello everyone. Today in this video we are going to learn about approval rules related to invoices. So why do we need approval rules for invoice? So this is kind of restriction giving to the users. For example, if a user enters $5,000 invoice, it should route to his or her manager. Or if a user enters any invoice below 5,000, for example $3,000, it should get approved automatically. Why? Because any amount greater than the 5,000, it requires his manager or her manager interference that whether the AP user entering the correct information or not. And any amount which is less than the 5,000, it should automatically approve. That is our basic requirement for AP invoice. So let's see how we can configure this requirement in auto approval rules. So let's go to the application and so need to come search with the workflow rules, manage payables workflow rule, and you have to download this version. You can see here invoice approval, and you need to download this approval file, and you will be having a multiple option to choose. One is basic template, another one is sample template 1, sample template 2, sample template 3. So I have already downloaded one sample template. I'll just show you. So I have this one. This one is a sample template which I have already downloaded. So this tab is for any approval rules which are particular to supplier portal. We have to use this invoice request approval rules, and any invoice which are pertains to our workflow rules, we have to use this uh, particular sheet. Here you can see multiple things. Block 1, you can add how many blocks you want to add. You can see here add block. If I click on this, it will automatically add multiple blocks. So just remove this one, delete block. And you can see there are additional settings as well, view additional settings. Like for example, if you need any voting outcome or enable lists or supplementary job level options, you can enable all these things if at all your business requires all these things. But as of now, I'm going to demonstrate only the basic approval rules. So I'll just keep manager pool as it is, and rule description auto approve less than 5k. What I'm trying to say is that any invoice amount which is less than the 5k, it should get auto approved. So for this, we need to use this approval routing list. This is nothing but a list of builders. So we need to use this auto approve. And here we have this invoice amount, business unit name. So from the invoice header, you can choose whatever the column you want to choose. So now I need invoice amount. And maybe in your future, if you require invoice type, invoice source, requester name, you can choose whatever you want. Like I just click on the supplier type, it will get automatically added here. So now I don't require this one, so I'll just delete it. And my requirement is that auto approve less than the 5k. So here I'll give the condition as less than or equal to $5,000, and I'll just remove this column as well. Or if you want, this should applicable only for your particular business unit, or you can add your business unit. For example, by writing in condition, add US business unit. This is how you can write, in condition. If not, you can also add not in condition. Not in. These are all, conditions that you can use. But as of now, I'm not using it anything. I'll just remove this column as well. Yeah. And manager approval greater than 5k. So for manager approval, we need to use the list of builder, which is supervisory hierarchy, and approval level 1, which means that it will only routed to the one particular manager. I'll just demonstrate. For example, X is having Y as a manager, Y is having Z as a manager, Z is having A as a manager, and A is having B as a manager. So for example, invoice is submitted by the X, invoice submitted by X. And if you keep approval level 1, it will only route it to X. Y. Since Y since X manager is Y, and since we kept approval level as 1, it will route it till Y. For example, approval level 3, if you keep approval level 3, first it will go to X to Y, and then once Y approves, it will go to Z, and once Z approves, it will go to A. So if you see here, there are three incident happen which are X to Y, Y to Z, Z to A. Since because we kept approval level as 3, it will route it till 3 managers. If you keep only one level, it will only route it to one person, which is the immediate manager to X is Y. So that is the meaning of approval level 1. So I'll keep as level 1. And if you see here, start approver, from where it should get start for approval. So I'll just take a manager of invoice submitter, which means that whosoever submits this invoice, it will route it to his or her particular manager. And we need to enter this top approver. I'll just add this top approver, and our condition is greater than or equal to $5,000 point out. So I took 0.01 because we have already used $5,000 here. That is equal to, less than or equal to. So any condition which are above 0.01 from 5,000, it should route it to his or her manager. That is our condition. So this is a simple rule that I'm written for this particular demonstration. So any amount which is less than or equal to 5,000, it should get auto approved, and any amount which is greater than or equal to 5,000, it should route it to the invoice submitter. Similarly, we have multiple things, invoice header requester, manager of invoice header requester, invoice line requester. There are multiple things we have here. So I'm just demonstrating with the manager of invoice submitter, and invoice amount is greater than or equal to 5,000.01. So just remember that you need to use these conditions as it is. You should not keep any spaces in between, otherwise it won't work. So once you have written your rules, just save this file and click on instructions and click on generate rule file. That this rule has been generated. Just click OK. Now you have to upload this file. Here we have this option to upload. Browse. Just upload this one. If you want any comments, you can add comments here. I'm just submitting as it is. This will lead to one ESS job. Then the ESS job has been submitted. Now you need to click refresh until it gets succeed. So it got succeeded. Let's do the invoice testing. Let's create one invoice. Tables, invoices, create invoice. Let's enter invoice or maybe greater than 5,000 or less than 5,000. We can test the both scenarios. Test 5K 01 USD, and I'll just write 4,500. So we are expecting this invoice should get auto approved. Now click save. Click on validate. Now here from the invoice actions, from approvals, click on initiate. Now we'll check the status after some time. Now we'll create one more invoice which is which is greater than the 5,000. Let's create another invoice. Select your supplier real quick. Just enter 7,000, which is greater than 5K. Click on save. Click on validate. Now click on approvals, initiate. So let's check the invoice status from the transaction console. Go to tools and click on transaction console. Or else I can also check the status from the invoice itself. This one is still initiator stage. Let's see. This one as well. Uh, See, if you see here, this one routed to my manager. See here, submitted to me and it routed to my manager, which means it's working. This should also should work, but yeah, see here, it is submitted by me and it is approved by auto workflow system. No one is manually interfere, but for this one, my manager should approve. This is how we create approval rules. It's basic approval rules, and we have many uh, list builders. That is, we have skip approval is also very important. Skip approval, auto reject, auto approve, first group in parallel, group first responder, group in serial. Maybe in coming future videos I may cover all this thing. And if you have any doubts for this, you can comment your particular doubt. I'll try to answer your doubt.